Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Venture Starters. Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy. We already have over 100 in the room. Wow, and we just opened the doors. Fantastic. So I want to apologize for last week. Those of you who wanted to get in and couldn't, we just had technical problems. So I'm so sorry about that. I'm glad you came back this week. If you'd like to pitch this week, please go to the reaction button and do the digital hand raise. We're going to go and do that in the same order that we normally do. So if you want to pitch this week, absolutely get in the queue now. We're also going to ask questions or comments between pitches, or I should say right after each person pitches. So I would love it if some volunteers in our audience would help me out with some good questions to ask our founders that are pitching so we can learn a little bit more information about what they're doing. It's hard for me to listen to the pitches and also moderate, even though I have two absolutely wonderful helpers. And I want to thank them. Without their help, there's no way we would be able to do these events. And I just came back from a 1-week vacation. My wife and I literally left for a beach location immediately after last week's event, and we just got back. So if my brain's a little slow, it's because I'm still on vacation mode and I haven't been talking to anybody or doing anything in the last number of days. And for those of you who've been trying to reach out to me, sorry I wasn't available. My team, though, was still pursuing and doing our ads for a company called QP and Global Laser Reach, where we're looking for talent to join those startup teams. I'm always looking for talent to join teams. So my staff was on top of that while I was on vacation, but otherwise it was a break for me. So now that we've got a pretty nice, sizable number of people in the room, let me just go through a couple of quick comments and then we'll get into our pitches. I see Jason is the first to pitch in the queue. So stand by, Jason, and thank you very much. We're going to hold a life science event on March 15th, 2 weeks from today. That's going to mean all of you who are in the life science community, medical devices, healthcare, pharma, biotech. If you've got something to pitch, we want to give preference to those that are in the life sciences communities on March 15th. So please plan to attend. Those of you that are investors and are interested in the life sciences, also please attend. We are having a great response from investors lately. Really pleased that the number of people joining our events in our community is growing on the investment side. The chat is where we're still going to continue to meet everybody. I'm not planning on doing breakout rooms tonight. We'll get back to breakout rooms soon, but some of the breakout room issues persist and I haven't been able to solve them just yet. For those of you who are pitching, it's 2-minute elevator pitches, 2 minutes. Try and please respect all of those of us that are watching. Going longer isn't going to win you more points. Trust me, going 2 minutes or shorter will score lots of points within our community. Just use your time wisely. The rules are be nice and play nice. If any of you are in our community, you're not playing nice, I want to learn about that because those are the people I want to bounce out of our community. We're community people who will respect each other and treat each other nicely. That said, since we've become so big, there's a chance that we have bad apples among us. It's a high likelihood. I don't know how many. Hopefully it's none or just a few. I haven't met them, but please be cautious and treat every one of the connections and people you meet here with some level of caution, just like you are meeting them at any sort of a event where you're meeting total strangers. If you'd like to do additional networking, you can press the 3 buttons on your image and select rename and add your email address after your real name so people can see what your email address is. We've exceeded 150,000 views on our YouTube channel, and some people who watch from around the world might want to get in touch with you. They would have no way of doing it because they're seeing the event, days, if not weeks, if not months after it took place. So it may be useful from a networking perspective if you have your email address as well on your image. If the signal is not clear when you're pitching, I want to apologize in advance. I'm going to go to somebody else. It's very hard for those that are pitching from overseas sometimes to have a clear signal. And if that happens tonight, I'm going to have to just move us along. We'll try and get you in the queue again. Anybody who is in the queue tonight to pitch and we don't get to, we'll try and make room and accommodations next week. I know that I had promised that a couple weeks back of about 8 or 9 people. And unfortunately, then last week we kind of had a Zoom meltdown and I couldn't even get our audience into the room, although it was a great event. I thoroughly enjoyed last week. If everybody can stay on mute for the event will go a lot smoother. I think that covers the basic highlights, and I'd like to just get us started. And Jason is the first in the queue. Again, if there's anybody in our community who will help me with questions afterwards or comments, or even sounds that was a great pitch or anything that you'd like to share, just don't make it overly critical. Those kind of comments you can do privately in the chat if you have something to say, but at least in the public spaces, let's all try and play nice, as I say. So up first is Jason. Take it away.
All right, thank you. Hi, I'm Jason from Mega. We're a STEM-based education nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals through classes and hackathons. Our event attracts hundreds of participants from around the world who work together to create innovative solutions for social good. Last year, we had over 250 participants from more than 25 countries working in teams and submitting over 50 proposals to bolster these goals. This year, we're aiming at even higher with a goal of over 1,000 participants in all of our programs. Mega is a truly global organization. We've connected with over 40 NGOs and more than 10 schools worldwide, and we're always looking to expand our network. By partnering with us, you'll gain access to a global network of young STEM leaders and have the opportunity to advertise your products while supporting our mission. Our flagship event is Mega Hackathon 2023, where we hope to host hackathons for people all around the world again. It is an incredible opportunity for participants to collaborate on projects that can make a real difference in the world. We believe that technology has the power to drive positive changes, and we're committed to using it for social good. If you share our vision and want to be a part of this exciting movement, visit our website at megahack.tech or email us at megahackleague@gmail.com. Let's work together to make a difference. I will send those links in the chat.
So Jason, what is it you need though? I'm not clear yet. Like, how can our community help you?
So we're seeking sponsors and we're seeking partners for the hackathon that we're going to run in 2023 called Mega Hack 2023. I will send the link to the website on the chat, and I think that will clear up a few things as well.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Yeah, Blake here. I would love to connect with you, Jason. I have a couple of ideas for you, actually. Please feel free to connect with me via LinkedIn if you have, or email if you don't.
I'm currently a high schooler, but yeah, I'll try to work my way through the LinkedIn process, and I'll see if I can connect with you. Do you mind sending me your LinkedIn?
Sure, it's in the chat, but also you can send me an email. My email is very easy to remember. It's blake.wind@gmail.com, and it's also next to my name.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
And Blake is one of the most well-connected people in our community, knows a lot of great corporations that might be interested in sponsoring what you're doing. So absolutely follow up.
Thank you so much, it's a pleasure.
Anybody else have a quick comment or question of Jason before I move on? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jason, so props for everything that you're doing. Definitely reach out to me because we do a lot of work with the United Nations as well, as being a United Nations speaker myself. So definitely connect with me via LinkedIn. I'm just about to post my information, so it should be easy to find.
All right, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Great. Everybody meet each other in the chat. Okay, up next is Nicholas.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nicholas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Propion. I'm actually going to be pitching at the Life Science event, so I'm going to keep this under 2 minutes. I'm introducing myself in this forum because Propion is a life extension and health span company. And it's a fallacy to think that life extension and health span extension are relegated to the industries of life sciences and biosciences. Lifespan is a question that applies to absolutely everybody, no matter who you are. It also applies to your pets, for example. That's one of the industries that we plan to expand into. Our core technology is two molecules that have the highest recorded life extension data or best antioxidant data, short of genetic manipulation. One of the molecules is this right here. I will be putting my email address in the chat. This molecule currently has extended the lifespan of worms 20 times longer than the top anti-aging supplement on the market. So we want to make it into a supplement. It is a naturally occurring molecule, and that's why it can be sold as a supplement, and that's why it hasn't been sold as a pharmaceutical yet. Thanks.
Is it a powder or a pill?
We'll be selling it as a pill.
And are you going to be doing any human trials on it?
Yes.
Is there an FDA approval required, or are you going down the path of true supplements?
There's no FDA approval required. We will have a pharmaceutical branch of the company, which will be expanding into a pharmaceutical vertical that we plan to use to bring in revenue from the 5 to 10 year milestones, basically.
I welcome you for the life science event. I have actually put up the calendar of the next two events at the venturestarters.com website. So you can now register for a week from today, or the life science event 2 weeks from today. You can actually do that even now while you're sitting here, if you guys all are interested. Thank you, Nicholas. Was there anybody else that had a quick question or comment for Nicholas?
Hi, Nicholas. My name is Gabrielle Wired. I'm actually the owner of Vamed Health Group LLC.
Hi.
I came back today. I realized I need to be on the life sciences, but what I do is I actually have clinical trials in my practice, and I form relationships that end up, royalty agreements and things of that nature, which obviously have also a financial benefit. I have about 800 patients. We're currently doing cannabinoids. We're also working with psilocybin. So I'm very much forward thinking. So if you want to check me out also on LinkedIn, it's Gabrielle Wired, WHYARD.
Okay. Can you put it in the chat, please?
Yeah, I'll do that as well. And then we can maybe connect, and I'll also be on the life sciences event as well, but maybe we can team up here. Okay.
Thanks. Oh, sorry. The very last thing I forgot to mention was that my co-founder holds professor positions at the University of Toronto, USC, and the Buck Institute for Research on Aging. So it's very, very science heavy company.
It sounds great. I look forward to you coming back. By the way, anybody that is life science oriented tonight, you're welcome to keep pitching even tonight. We're just going to carve out one night to try and at least make that a priority focus for us 2 weeks from today. Up next is Blake.
Hi there. Great to be back again, as usual, Mark. I'll keep this short, as is typical. I wear two hats. First, I'm head of BD at QuarkXR, which has still kept its round open by request. We're still taking a look at other investors that are interested in XR and XR streaming. My company is really cool. I can talk about XR all day, but primarily the reason I'm here is actually to help other people in this community, because in addition to this, I have a number of people that I work with who are actively investing in seed and pre-seed, together with some corporate venture capital partners, ranging from Techstars to Honda, SOSV to PepsiCo. PepsiCo is my new favorite one. I'm waiting for their response to my latest batch. And we're doing a whole bunch of different things. So if I can help, I'm very happy to. And if you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn yet, please feel free.
Awesome. And I don't have questions for you, Blake, but I encourage everybody in our community to get to know Blake. He's totally valuable to, especially those of you startup founders. I'm going to move on. Next up is Devin.
Hey, everyone. I'm Devin with Eco, and what we do is remote work for construction vehicles. The big problem globally is that construction contractors are having major labor shortages, and being able to retain talent from a safety and efficiency perspective is a huge issue that increases costs for projects and also makes some projects obsolete in terms of the ability to execute. What we do is we partner directly with construction operators or construction companies, where we provide the operations to their vehicles. How we do that is we do it remotely. we have facilities where we have workstations and hire and manage operators that interface to these vehicles. We have LOIs and the prototype developed based in Texas, and we're looking to start generating revenue by this summer. We are currently accepting check sizes and are preparing for our pre-seed round for $3 million. Thanks, guys, and really appreciate y'all hearing me out.
Thanks, Devin. Does anybody have any questions or comments of Devin?
I just have a quick point of clarity. Is it like, I'm imagining like a drone pilot, but running heavy industrial machinery?
That's correct.
Huh. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I do. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So with your solution, there are plenty of autonomous piloting that's being done on both on road and in air type of vehicles. What's your secret sauce? What makes your solution special?
Yeah, so the construction industry is the most complex industry to automate, and it's going to be 10 plus years until you have fully automated construction, as you're manipulating the terrain in real time. Every project is a unique project. And so we're not focused on automation. We're focused on bringing humans in the loop and working with operators that remotely interface and operate these vehicles, not replacing humans. Now, of course, we're going to be collecting a lot of data and can roll out specific automation tasks for specific vehicles, but we're focused on being able to be like a high-tech staffing and operations company in partnership with vehicle owners to be able to complete a variety of different jobs instead of what's already out there, which is very specific for specific applications and not really full product market fit in terms of where they are from a technical standpoint.
Okay. I do have some follow-ups, but we can connect offline. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll put my information in the chat and my email, and anyone interested definitely would love to talk with you guys.
Thank you, Devin. We're going to move on, but before I do, and Michael Kelly, you are next. Those of you who are posting things in the chat, do not spam our chat. If you are, we're going to kick you out. So just, occasional updates on what you're doing. That you don't need to put down 20 email or 20 chats tonight to remind people over and over again who you are. That's annoying. It's not the purpose of our chat. So please don't burden everybody with that. Up next is Michael.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Kelly from Investment Science. I taught a master's level AI course at Baruch. Just finished my master's in entrepreneurship. 11 years working on Wall Street. I'm here to talk about Sage Fusion. So Sage Fusion is an AI investment platform that if you had $100, you could put it into upwards of 100 different investments. What's unique about our firm compared to everything out there, we have lending facilities. So if you have $100, we're at 500 already. And we're going to take that and acquire private companies, issue bonds at 85% of net income, and uniquely manage your risk. So right now we're seeking 1.1 million to close on a 9.4 million seed raise, in which US Cap Global's agreed to install our terminals into all their existing customers, create lending facilities. But because of our lending facilities, your 1.1 million would turn into about 40 million within 9 months. So it's a very unique business offering, which Mark himself actually shaped the go-to-market strategy when he was looking at my pitch. And it's quite lucrative to conduct treasury management because all that cash is ours. So basically trying to take in consulting customers and or multiple investors up to 1.1 million to scale this company. That's it.
Anybody have any questions of Michael?
Michael, this is Kurt Walker, longtime funder. We'll be in touch. I'll get you linked up to my LinkedIn. I've got some maybe folks for you to chat with.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Just out of curiosity, Michael, do you need certain licenses in order to do what you're doing?
So we, Dr. Weinbach on my team holds all the insurance license in Series 65, but to be conducting M&A, US Cap Global has signed a joint partnership with us to be our investment bankers. So our company's not conducting the M&A. US Cap Global would be, but we're licensed to do treasury management's not even really regulated, but we hold the Series 65 to manage money.
Got it. All right, meet Michael in the chat. Up next is Nathan.
Hi, everybody. I'll keep it brief so others have time to pitch as well. So I'm Nathan DeYoung, the founder of Asset Fund, and we're building a crowdfunding platform that allows people to invest in private businesses without all the common risks. You know, traditionally, companies like Start Engine or some of these others are focused on startups. We're actually going to be acquiring companies that are performing and profitable for individuals that are looking to exit in some way or another, and we'll then pay out that in shares to our users. We're currently seeking 1 million bridge note, and I'll put my information in the chat.
Great. Anybody have any questions of Nathan? We've seen Nathan about.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
I have a quick question. Do you, so like I own shares in a private company and I have no access to the company, any money. Is that something like it's been growing and growing and growing, but I have no access till they go public? Is that something where your company would buy some of my shares?
Potentially, yeah. That could be a scenario in which we could work out in that situation.
You're my hero. I can't wait to talk to you more.
All right. So meet Nathan in the chat, and we're going to move on. Up next is Breck.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Breck Rice. I am a healthcare disruptor and a patient advocate. I've been in healthcare for like 20 years now. Yes, I am really old. I get to help work with physicians and pharmacists. They're saving lives every day and helping patients feel better, and more importantly, actually get better. So I'm setting up these rural health and wellness centers all over the US, and also soon expanding into the UK. We offer a more holistic approach to patient care. It's combining conventional medicine and complementary integrative medicine and technologies, AI, to help patients live longer. In fact, one of the technologies we use is been proven in clinical studies to actually extend life. And so the program is being called the Fountain of Youth. You can't trademark the Fountain of Youth, and so we just use the acronym FOY, F-O-Y, which stands for the Fountain of Youth. So FOY Therapy is a complete wellness clinic that we drop right inside of community pharmacies. In my 20 years in healthcare, I've developed quite a large network of pharmacies, over 20,000. And just because it's a pharmacy doesn't mean that we're doing just more drug therapies. In fact, we're actually de-prescribing most patients about 50% of the meds that they're on. So we're taking them off about 50% of the meds. We have a national physician network, so it's still prescribed by doctors. We use bioscanning, pharmacogenomics, so that we can get the DNA and make sure that the proper meds are metabolizing correctly. We do lab testing, and we use AI to identify diseases before they even happen. We are in very early stages, but just standing up our first 10 locations. And but our cost to the healthcare system is about 40 to 50% less than going to an urgent care when you go to your community pharmacy for these same services. We're seeking $250K just in a convertible note and just in our seed round here. We're on target, though, to do about 1 million in this first year in revenue.
Is that 1 million revenue from the first 10 locations you're talking about standing up?
No, it'll be the entire rollout. We should have close to 100 locations by the end of the year.
And how hard is it to set up a location? Do you have to physically go to each one, or how are you able to do that?
Yeah, that's what the money's for, is that remotely setting them up isn't going as fast as we'd like it to. And so I need implementation team to have boots on the ground, go set it up. Our poor independently owned pharmacists are overwhelmed. They're short-staffed. They're the chief bottle washer, cook, and cleaner and everything. And so they're having a hard time. So we need to actually send people out and set up the clinic for them.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Breck?
I have a
Yes.
question. Do you include behavioral things like Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, and massage, those kinds of integrative healthcare, or is it only supplements and things like that?
Right now, it's supplements, and it's also therapy, bioelectromagnetic energy therapy. We, according to the clinic, though, we do have like a practitioner in California that also practices Reiki, however you pronounce it, and so she will incorporate that into her clinic as well.
I'd love to connect with you later to talk a little bit more about potentially adding this other feature to it. Just given the research that I do on integrative healthcare shows that those kinds of behavioral things like Tai Chi, Pilates, and yoga are actually the most effective of all the integrative healthcare. So I'll put my thing in the chat.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. We do remote patient monitoring, which I think would be perfect for what you're talking about.
May I also interject? I also like this idea a lot because I'm also expanding into some of the more rural areas. I've been always an advocate for less medication, and we are obviously right now have to prescribe. We're an OBOT. We have no choice, but my mission has always been to take people off those types of medication. That's why we're doing all these different clinical trials. I would also be interested in how we can incorporate that. And also, secondly, with with epigenetics, what we're talking about, meditation, these things are so important as well that we can start to incorporate that. And if we can come up with a platform to do that, there's a lot of healing that can occur for a lot of people, for everyone. So not to go too far off, I love what you're doing. And if there's a way for us to connect, I'd be excited to figure that out as well.
Absolutely on the same page. I launched a campaign about scary drug facts. My post on tramadol has about 3 million views and about 4,500 patients saying, how do I get off this?
Yeah. Personally, I'm actually getting ready to go on a tour across country in my RV and telling my story on YouTube, and hopefully we'll get some real traction. Should be interesting. Let's combine. I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark spoke as well. Thank you. Awesome.
We have one other question. Go ahead.
Mark, quick question for Breck. How rural is rural? How do you relate to critical access hospitals, rural practices, and rural medicine, frontier medicine through federally qualified health centers? Can we work together?
So rural is where our community pharmacies are. So if somebody owns a community pharmacy in some little town in America, that's where the clinic's going in.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Was there somebody else we missed who wanted to ask a question?
Yeah, that's Duran, Mark. So Breck, so a little bit about the business. You mentioned that you can detect some of these diseases, if you will, before they actually transpire. Can you talk about how that's connected to the business model? Because I didn't really hear you demystify on the business model side. Is there a price per patient? And how are you connecting that to your projections of revenues? Can you just really dive a bit on the process of how you extrapolate capital in what you're offering?
Yeah, so therapies are prescribed by the doctors, and then we're billing insurance for those therapies. When it comes to the preventative, we're actually taking blood analytics, feeding it into an AI engine that is identifying markers in the blood. We're also doing bioscanning that is showing deficiencies. And then most of those deficiencies can be made up with good nutrition. So that's where we start, very strong vegetable based, and not just the green vegetables, all the colors. And then there's also obviously a whole supplement regimen that can go along with it as well.
Yeah, I get that, Breck. The only thing, and I won't be long because maybe we can talk offline. I'm saying, okay, each individual that we serve is $59. We anticipate X amount of people to subscribe at the $59. We're considering a churn rate of X. This is how we're justifying this particular $1 million. And this is how we're actually cross-referencing that with the convertible note that we're raising. I just wanted to hear about the business side, not so much technology, not so much how you're providing with the patients, also with the AI. this is something else I would want to talk to you offline about, because currently we're only in the stage of artificial narrow intelligence. I'm a software engineer myself. We're not at AGI. So I want to know exactly what you're feeding this machine to parse through this particular data to give you some type of input to output return, because the AI that everybody likes to talk about, we're not at artificial general intelligence yet. So it's going to be really based on the data that you're feeding this machine. But again, we can save these conversations for offline. I'll connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, a lot longer conversation. But yes, we've identified 4 different revenue streams just off of the medical device itself.
Got it. Thanks. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, we're going to move on. Up next is Noah.
Hi, thank you for having me again. So, hi, my name is Noah Honer. I am the CEO and co-founder of med tech company VitaMed Incorporated. And to understand more about what we're doing, I want to talk about my inspiration for creating this. When I was a kid, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder, and it was absolutely crippling. And it was I went to therapist after therapist, medication after medication, and none of it was working. I was even sent to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack at 17 years old, but I was having a panic attack instead. And I really wish I had a different way to deal with my anxiety, which is why you need the Vita. The Vita is a wearable and an app that lower anxiety. The way the wearable works is by sending electrical pulses to your nervous system that calms it down in the short term and the long term. This is for long-term health. The app collects biometric data, while also it holds cognitive behavioral and dialectical behavioral techniques. So it's that dual action approach. And the target market we're seeking right now is 361,000 parents in the US right now with children who are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, who are currently in therapy and psychiatry for that disorder. So we estimate total revenue of that beachhead market to be about 180 million. We are currently in our seed stage for about $2 million. With these funds, we are doing preclinical and clinical trials, prototyping, and also various other funds. So this is our call to action. We want to help as many people as possible, and I hope you join us along for the ride. We're also looking for med tech and business advisors. We have a scientific advisory board and a business advisory board. So if you're interested in this stuff, please come find me. Thank you.
Noah, I'd like to help you build your team, but I'm curious. So what are the clinical trials that you're doing, and how are you actually testing that this is working?
Sure. So preclinical are on rats, very invasive, and they're using off-the-shelf technology. And for the physiological trial on humans, which would be the clinical trial, we are using off-the-shelf technology to lower anxiety, not a competitor, but something that does something similar, and hooking up electrodes to see what the heart rate and heart rate variability is.
Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, so Noah, this is Duran again. I won't go too far because I know that Mark kind of run this program differently, but it's been a while since we could ask questions to each other, so that's cool. Yeah, so one on the following Mark's question, and then the other on the valuation. So because I'm interested in investing in startups, so that's why I come in here as an investor. How are you really measuring this physiologically? Like, how can you really measure my temperament to know if my anxiety is driven by a particular cause, or if it's even anxiety for that matter? How do you how do you explain the science on this? Because I didn't really hear you communicate that.
That's a really good question. We have a bunch of literature that we can talk about. I would love to connect with you and send you that stuff. I could sit here all day and talk about it, but I think we could have a really good conversation if I can send you over some stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool, because I'm kind of like Mark Cuban when he gets upset on Shark Tank when he hears these type of deals, because I'm a super science person. So when you said that, I'm thinking like, how could one measure one's temperament? Like Apple wouldn't even know if I had the Apple Watch on and if I jump up and down because I'm excited because it's my daughter, or if my wife cut her foot and I need to run over to her. How does my heart rate at that moment know which one to actually wager on? Like, oh, his heart rate is beating fast because his wife cut his foot, or his heart rate is beating fast because he's excited to see his daughter. Like, it's almost impossible scientifically for you to know that. So I would definitely be interesting for you to actually send me some material on that.
Yeah, please send me an email and connect to me on LinkedIn. I'd love to tell you more. Thank you, Duran.
Sure. All right, that's all for me. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we would all like to learn more because you're solving a huge problem if you can pull it off. So I'm interested in following your journey, Noah. So thank you for pitching. We're going to move on, though. Up next is Yanni.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Great pitches so far. I'm Yanni Darros, a serial innovator, 30 years in the business. I'm CEO of Circ Plus, a family of intelligent automation and robotic systems, helping reduce energy costs, lower carbon emissions, and solve labor shortages with plug-and-play technologies. We're on a rocket ship. We have a $28 million partnership agreement with a national reseller and working with the largest healthcare GPO that purchases $82 billion annually that are co-branding our products. So at our core is AI, cloud, IoT, robotics, SaaS that generates revenue in perpetuity for our systems. We can retrofit our freestanding energy management system in under 60 minutes or less, helping properties save up to 40%. We have 6 broad patents, method patents, and we foresaw the labor shortages that were out there, and our team of technologists leveraged our AI platform to actually create CBOT, a truly affordable autonomous disinfecting robot that creates cleaner and healthier spaces with no manual labor. Our focus with that is healthcare and senior living, where we can address hospital-acquired infections that are 100% preventable. We have completed significant pilot trials, generating revenue. We have a fat pipeline, global demand. We're not 20-somethings. We're a seasoned team that have developed over 300 product and technology solutions for others. We have raised $2.7 million to date. We have a pre-A series round open right now for $3 million, $500,000 committed from a large respected family fund. It's an easy deal to enter. They're the lead investor. So Circ is more than an AI technology. We're a solution for a sustainable future. So if you're invested and interested in investing or connecting, please let us know. I'll share my contact information in the chat. Thank you.
So, I mean, can you just grow from revenues and not need investors? That just, it sounds like you might be at that inflection point where you just need more revenue.
Yeah, we do need the revenue, but we also need to build the team. And also we have other solutions that are in demand. Working with the healthcare GPO, we're building a telepresence robot that is also HIPAA compliant already from that standpoint. So there's multiple vectors here. And so we need the team, we need to get out there for more sales, build some inventory, so forth. So that's kind of the focus right now of the business.
I have ideas for your team. Does anybody else have any questions or comments, Yanni?
Hey, Mark, this is Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Good presentation. I like this space a lot. I'm curious. It seems like you're going in a bunch of different directions. Do you have a specific target market that you're digging in on? Because it sounds like it could be, both B2B or B2C focused. It could be embedded technology, OEM technology, finished consumer goods product. Where is the focus?
Great question. We get that asked all the time. Focus is always key. Our focus right now is in the smart room technology platform. It's a massive market for hotels, condos, multifamily units. I just got back from Europe where I presented at the World AI Conference, and we were overwhelmed by demand because of the skyrocketing energy costs over there. So that system is our primary focus. The CBOT is what we're working with one of the largest resellers in the country that is working through a GPO, and they're taking and focusing and selling the robot on that side. So both B2B, business internally focused on the smart room system, externally a large powerhouse that's going to be marketing and selling this into healthcare.
Got you. I'll follow up offline.
Yep, great. We're going to move on. Thank you so much, everybody. Up next is Samson.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Samson. I'm the founder of Pioneer, and I'm in San Diego. So we're building up a platform called Reach for student organizations to manage their community and provide the best event hosting experience to the students. So it would allow student organization to recruit member handle payment and finance, organize the event, and manage community through the platform. And it will allow students to join the organization, find out the event in school, and a better way to connect with the school community. So our goal is to help students to integrate with the school community in an innovative and interactive environment to enjoy the school. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I was thinking, how do we educate students to be an entrepreneur, right? You know, it's hard because it's not something that we could just study and learn. And I think the student organization is the closest environment that they could provide them that experience. So we're creating a system for the student all to host a better event, because from hosting a better event, they could learn from the process of building an organization, just like running a business. So we have talked to many students all, and I asked what was their obstacle to host a bigger event that connect everyone. I found they're mostly struggling with marketing and finance because of the fact that they don't have the tools to host a big event. They can't generate a lot of revenue for them to scale their organization. So they were lacking a system that had everything for them to follow. By creating a system and platform, we could solve all these problems and what they're facing, and create a new environment and definition of what community really is. So we're still very early stage. I'm currently doing marketing on my own. So I reached out to many organizations from UCSD to find out what's their difficulties so I could design my product. And in this process, I'm also validating the need of the product and finding out the first group of users. So our target customers, a student at the beginning, we try to provide a service first so we can get some data, keep improving, and find more investor. And we expect it to be launched in the coming academic year. So we're looking for a software engineer, investor, and whoever is interested to the project. So feel free to connect with me to find out more. My LinkedIn is Samson Chiu. It's my name. My email is pioneergroup@gmail.com. Thank you.
So this is for colleges, I'm assuming? Is that what you're thinking?
Yep.
And what would be a big event example that somebody is looking for your platform to leverage?
Yes. Okay. Just let me give you a very simple example of like one of the features. So one of the features is calendar. It's because you know how like organized business have a calendar, right? But like for student all, if every board member have a different class schedule. So they don't have, it's hard for them to find one time slot to meet every week, right? So I would have a calendar function, have an AI that they could upload all their schedule, and they can like set up a day off or like something like that. And then they can find that one time slot that for them to meet. So this is like one of the things that would help them. But there's more, of course, but there's 2 to 3 biggest feature that we focus on.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, Samson. So this is Duran here. Are you familiar with the app Gas and Saturn?
No.
Okay, so Gas recently sold to Discord. These two apps focus on the category of high schoolers, and it's something similar, but one app is sanctioned around different assignments, so people able to help each other in school based on the curriculum. And then another one seems similar to what you're saying. But this reminds me of a social Eventbrite. It's something that you're actually trying to do. Do you have a background in software engineer? Like where are you in the process of actually getting this thing started?
Yeah, so I am not a software background. I have my CDO to take care of that stuff. For me, I'm more like the connector. I do marketing myself. I connect with the people, talk about my idea. And I started the whole business, it's like actually 2 years ago from UCSD. And I spent a lot of time to just build up the foundation of what's the problem and the solution that I'm actually providing and solving. And I spent a lot of time just to like improve myself because.
So are you still in school?
No, I'm not in school. I graduated.
Got it. So how many people are involved in this?
Now I have like 5 to 6 people in my team, and I have like 2 to 3 mentors that I meet regularly to update their process.
Okay,
they're
so
kind of guiding me.
Okay, so you should contact me tomorrow. I want to do a Zoom with you tomorrow and talk to you about this, because my wife and I, we invest at the hatch stage all the way to like post IPO. And hatch for us means when you have the idea on the napkin. If you all are interested and you're doing something interesting and you're all not going to like fight each other and try to cut each other out eventually, this will be something I would be interested in helping you out with. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. I placed my information in the chat. I would love to talk to you tomorrow about this.
Okay, please. Yeah, put your info in the chat. I will contact you.
Okay, great.
Okay, we're going to have to move on though. Appreciate all that feedback. Up next is Jean-Claude. And you're gonna, there you go. Thanks.
I just put my information in the chat. So hello everyone, Mark, and especially to Duran Davis. I am Jean-Claude Arton, Fortuit CEO. Fortuit is tackling loneliness, which kills 6 million people a year, nearly as many as cancer. But today I will pitch Midfluencer, a Fortuit's US-based spin-off, which is a unique platform that combines 3 key elements: in-person gatherings, microblogging through Agoras, and our new music vertical. Midfluencer is all about getting people together in person. At our VIP Fortuit lounges, we bring together influencers and their followers. We've had a lot of success with this model during our test phase in Paris. We had an average of 600% overbooking. But Midfluencer isn't just about getting together in person. Our Agoras AI-powered microblogging feature will give influencers and their followers a safe, troll and haters-free place to connect and talk with each other. These features let influencers share updates from all their social media in a unique platform and medias with their followers in real time, which builds a stronger connections and sense of community. Our new music vertical is the third piece of the Midfluencer puzzle. By partnering with online music platforms, we can help them to reach profitability, which supporting at the same time emerging artists. We have a pipeline of great talents ready to test the platform, and we're confident that our focus on musical talents will lead to billions in revenue within 2 to 3 years. But not the least, a musician that needs to get over 200,000 streams a month to make $1,000 on Spotify can make 2 to 3 times more within a single Midfluencer gathering one night where people can socialize in real life. So we're seeking a second pre-seed investment of $250K at $1 million valuation to fund our growth and bring our vision to life. We launched the round 3 weeks ago. It's already half subscribed, and tickets are only $10,000. So take your chance with us and make people to meet again. Thanks, everyone.
It's interesting. Is it only been tested in Paris, or have you also done events in the US yet with your platform?
No, we prefer to be a little bit under the radar screen. So doing that in the French language make it easier. And at the same time, we are partnering with people like Webedia and others who are $100 million companies with thousands of talents. So we just go where it's the easiest to test.
Got it. Anybody have any comments or questions?
Yeah, Jean-Claude got a big background in producing music festivals and concerts for a couple of decades. We run founder events all over the country, and one of the ones we just did was a Founders in Yacht Rock show here in Vegas. And one of the guys that came to that is exiting for $250 million, and for some crazy reason, he wants to do something in music. I say crazy, I love music, but it's difficult to make money there. So I'm happy to chat with you, and I can connect you with some other parties that are interested in solving for the same.
Thank you, Kurt. I will like it. And you will understand that we solve the problem, which is the logistics. So that's where we can make money, because the acquisition cost for the customers is almost free.
I like that. Okay, good.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Jean-Claude. We're going to move on. Up next is Dan.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Marsh, CEO of Pirate Wind Turbines. I have been on here before under another name, but that other name didn't actually have the word wind turbines in the title, so it was kind of confusing. We at Pirate Wind Turbines have developed some new small wind turbine technology that is in the range of 500 watts to 10,000 watts. We believe that's going to be our niche, and it's going to fill a huge void in the industry. What sets us apart from other wind turbine manufacturers and technology is just the fact that our generator up in the head is self-regulating. So if you have a desire for 120 volts output DC, 48 volts DC, we can program it, and no matter how hard the wind blows, it's going to have a high limit cutout, not cut out as in not producing power. It's going to only make up to that volts no matter how fast the wind blows. So we are doing some state-of-the-art work here. We have been tested at a energy and propulsion lab here in San Antonio, nationally recognized. It has been proven successful. We just got approved to go on a major university's roof in their industrial engineering department, so the students can monitor whose turbine is better, our technology or a standard wind turbine. My company mentor has a business degree from Germany, and he's mechanical engineering out of MIT. So we have a strong team. We are pre-revenue. We are looking for pre-seed funding because we are going to be building some professional grade prototypes. All the prototypes I've had in my past have been aluminum and different other materials, and I have done them out of my own garage. So we're looking for somebody that really understands energy, loves renewable energy, understands a small wind. And thank you very much. I think I made my time.
Thanks for pitching quick, Dan. Curious whether you have contemplated the issue of vibration for mounting such a device on a roof.
Yes, so we are advertising that we're going to be virtually vibration free because we don't need to use the flexible blades like most small wind turbines do. And whenever those blades start flexing in order to slow them down, that's when the serious vibration happens. And we are not involved in that in any way.
Okay, that makes you interesting for sure. Anybody have any questions or comments?
One quick question. Where are you located?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Dan, just met with a group that dropped a large PPA agreement on me yesterday. They flew into Vegas from Brazil. They know we've done a lot of stuff in energy. There may be a way to get you funded as they're getting their PPA funded. It's kind of creative, but just kind of happened to be an intersection that might work. So we'll have to chat about it. They're doing wind turbines as well, and I just sat down with them yesterday.
Okay, and keep in mind, I'm small wind turbines. So
I know.
Okay, and I just got back last night from Palm Springs, California, which I consider that valley to be the wind turbine technology area of the United States. It was awesome out there talking with a lot of companies out there.
They used to work with Southwest Wind Power, Helix Wind, and a few others. So I know what you're doing. Awesome stuff. Keep going.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Sorry to just interject, but it's memory bubble. Cool.
Hey, Dan, quick question. Are you focused on commercial or residential?
We are going, I'm looking at right now because of the size and the need, we're looking at doing a lot of irrigation on farms and ranches for vegetation and cattle. And right now we're doing some testing on a ranch in the middle of Texas, updating the data to the cloud, getting a lot of performance reports. But right now it's probably going to be residential unless it's commercial because it's irrigation, farming, and ranching.
I have some farm contacts if you're looking to test in the Midwest states.
Yes, that's part of the plan. Thank you. If you could put your information, I'm going to be copying the chat room here at the end, and I will put my information up there as well.
Hi, Dan. I also have some farm contacts. I do scaling for women in farming. So I put their market into like Whole Foods or Costco. So I do know some corn farmers in Nebraska, and I'm hoping that you see that I follow you on LinkedIn and I'll send you a message. But beyond that, this is awesome. Have you talked to Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida?
I have not.
Can I connect you with Noel?
Yes,
Everything.
absolutely.
I want to help you because their School of Engineering at FSU is awesome, and there's technology. I don't know. I cut out probably. Technology is the organization, so it's TECHNOLEGY, and they have really rose in the ranks, so they'll help you. But yeah, I'm gonna message you now on LinkedIn, and I'd like you to look into Florida State and think of it. Thank you.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
We're going to need to move on, but thank you, Dan, and everybody else with your questions. Up next is Michael. Michael Berman.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So this is shameless self-promotion. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done numerous things in my career. I've come to a place now where I'm trying to help as many people as possible. I've got a nice consulting practice that's been built. I've got very blessed with a lot of deal flow in the NFT space, in the gaming space, in the cannabis space, and I'm happy to talk to anybody that needs any work, help in those spaces particularly. I just published a book on Friday. I'm very happy and proud to be able to put it in more shameless promotion here. You can't see it, but it's called The Baby Boomers Guide to the Creator Economy. I believe the creator economy is gig point one. This is now creator economy is point two. And so I've written a book for boomers to compete with millennials, digital natives, because boomers need to have a chance to get back in the game. So I'm excited about that. Happy to share with folks my, I'll kick it up into the chat right now. Again, Mark, the invaluable service you provided. I can tell you that I've connected with numerous people here, generous, kind, wonderful people. I love your caution in front to be careful. But again, I've been so blessed. I'm blessed with deal flow. I represent geniuses and I'm proud to say it. So again, good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
And congrats on the book. Really
Thank
good to hear. And hopefully you'll continue to meet great people in our community.
Thank you very much.
Michael. We'll move on then. Up next is Stash.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, or well, you guys are afternoon. I'm in New York. I think someone went to Baruch, the Just Pitch. If you're in New York City, hit me up. Anyway, everyone, good evening. My name is Stash Harrison. I'm the CEO of Market Intent. It's an AI and data company providing research and analytics for brands. Our focus is currently go-to-market strategy is on, we identified 10,000 startups that are funded, and we are currently working on a few pitches to ad agency to resell our data. We have something that currently costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and takes several months. And using data and AI, we can do this in days or less than a week for hundreds of products. The ask is we have a working product, we have a customer, we need help in management and growth. I'm exploring a COO and raising capital. We have some seed money and currently looking to friends and family money and looking to raise a seed round of 2.5. I went fast, maybe I missed a bunch of stuff, but that's about it. I'll paste my info in the chat. And there is a really cool demo showing you how our product actually works. You can see everything about your competitor compared to your company in order to provide growth.
You have that available somewhere that everybody can access?
Yes, actually, just on our website, but let me paste the link to the demo dashboard, which is a sanitized version of something that from one of our customers.
Cool.
Demo.
Yeah, that'd be fun to explore. Does anybody have any quick questions?
Stash. Is that your name? Is your name Stash?
Yeah, it's short for Stashu, but Stash.
Stash. Okay, great. This is Duran. So is it like a CB Insights or PitchBook or Crunchbase?
No, it would be complementary to those products. Essentially, let's take hard seltzer. We are currently creating a dashboard for a hard seltzer brand. What we did was use machine learning. We look at the top guys being like White Claw, Truly, look at their go-to-market strategy, their ad campaign, extrapolate that data, and went for this really tiny startup and say, hey, instead of going to an agency and spending, money that you don't have, you can use, here is a strategy that's proven and worked by the big guys. So it's something that, yeah.
Yeah, and on the $2.5 million, do you have a post-money valuation on that?
Well, right now, we're re-evaluating that because we have a few potential customers in the ad agency world. So, but right now we're looking at 10 to 15, but that might change because of the potential new businesses.
Okay, if you post something in the chat, I would love to learn more about what you're doing.
Yeah, I just put my LinkedIn, email, and then there's a demo 2 link there, which is our dashboard that you can see what it provides. Well, this is a small amount of data.
Hey, Stash, let me ride behind Durand with a quick question. This is Keith. I've worked in this data quite a bit, and I'm still a little bit unclear what the data is. Is it sales intent? Is it ad spend, marketing spend? Is it POS data? What is it that you're capturing? I don't quite
Okay, so a lot of this is based, I have a previous app called Allcart, which is a grocery savings platform. And the data from there is in market intent. For example, sticking with the hard seltzer that I mentioned, looking at hard seltzer data, we have this data from over 80 hard seltzer in over 120,000 markets. So we can say to a smaller brand, hey, you need to know what all your competitors' price are. And for example, if White Claw, right, if they're going, they're couponing their product, how often they need to take this into consideration. So currently market research are not done at this level. We have pricing information across all 42,000 zip codes. We also use, look at social and analytics as well. Did that answer the question? We also predict future pricing.
How is this going to scale across thousands of product categories with normalization and aggregation and putting that together in real time where I have to take advantage of, market trends, market activity?
Yeah, so on scalability, currently we're focused on CPG, food, beverage, alcohol. We're going to get into cosmetics and pet food next. In scalability, the cool thing about a vertical is if you look at hard seltzer, in this vertical, after we create one full dashboard for a product, most of that data is reusable on all of them, minus things like personalized when it comes to social media and so forth. But the overall data on that, like the total available market, all your competitors, a lot of this is reusable data, so it's very scalable.
Okay, that was interesting. We're going to move on though. Thank you all. Up next is Austin.
Hello, everybody. I'm assuming you're referring to me, Austin Ambrosi. Yep. Hello, everybody. My name is Austin Ambrosi. I'm a member of the Forbes Business Council and a published author with through Entrepreneur Magazine. My company's name is Doxy. So Doxy is an AI-powered unstructured document processor. So the short version of it is we built a robot that can do paperwork. Whether it's accounting, legal contracts, claims processing, any sort of enterprise document, Doxy can process it as faster and more accurate than a human being. It might take a human being 5 minutes to read through one enterprise document, and Doxy can read through over 100,000 in that same 5 minutes. So we are saving time and increasing throughput for mid-market and enterprise organizations. So the target market right now is, we're currently focused on reinsurance, insurance, and healthcare. That's just because that's where we have most of our traction thus far. But we're going to be expanding out into accounting, legal, compliance, really any paperwork intensive industry. Let's see here. So we can talk about our differentiators at length offline so that I don't take up too much time, but the short version of it is that we have the lowest amount of training data that is required on the market. A lot of these people in the space are claiming that they don't use templates and that they don't need all these documents to train on. And then the second that you actually try to put a model into production, they ask you for best case scenario 50, more than likely 100, 200 documents to train on. Which one kind of invalidates their claim that they're template free, and two is just adds a lot of friction to the sales process and implementation as far as the end client is concerned, because not only do you have to gather all these documents up together, but you have to go through and annotate them and essentially construct your answer key that way you can even verify that the results that you're getting from the solution are legitimate. So we can get past all of that. I could run a document right now, no training data whatsoever, and we're the only solution on the market that can do that. We have partnerships with, or we have evidence that those differentiators are legitimate by way of partnerships with two of the most respected management consultancy firms in the space. That's Simpulse and Oz Consulting. We have validated the demand, so we are post-revenue. You might be asking yourself, well, if you've got these partnerships and you're post-revenue, what are you doing here? And the answer to that is because enterprise sales cycles are very long and nuanced, as I'm sure some of you are quite familiar. So we are currently in the sales process we're currently in the process of getting deals done with 3 of the top 10 largest reinsurance companies on earth, including the biggest, Munich Reinsurance. The deal size on that is still being finalized, but it's looking like it'd be anywhere from 80 to 100 million pages, which would amount to roughly a $5 to $10 million deal, depending on how hard I get reamed by the procurement department. And that'd be 5 to 10 million ARR. We are raising a $1 million seed round. We're about 30% subscribed on that. We have another $500,000 in due diligence right now. So right now we're just trying to raise this round just so we can extend the runway long enough to get through these enterprise sales cycles that we're already 3, some of them 6 months into. And then from there, hopefully we will never be raising again. And then I guess the last thing that I would mention is we won a startup showdown hosted by Panoramic Ventures in Nashville. There was 300 companies that were entered in that competition. We won first. The prize was 120 grand and a little bit of publicity. That probably hits my 2 minutes.
Probably, but
I
I'm
have a
very
question
interested.
on
Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. So this seems very spot on with where we see, for instance, Gen Z is going to be operating in the workplace, right? So we already know from data that they're not going to be interested in the mundane work that we see today. They're not going to be interested in spreadsheets. They're not going to be interested in doing a lot of the office work. They're going to be very much migrating to the creative portion of work. And if they get too bored, they're going to be out of there. So did you do any of that kind of research on the workforce that's coming down the road and just the habits or the expected behavior of that generation in coming up with this product and how you're going to pitch it and sell it?
Yes and no. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think anybody is fond of paperwork, so I don't think it's something that's exclusive to Gen Z, but you're definitely right that it is something that is more pronounced with Gen Z. To answer your question more directly, we haven't incorporated that into like the core sales messaging because the motivations for our buyers are very different. Some of the legacy institutions are primarily concerned about the accuracy of the data and like structuring their unstructured data. You know, they have decades worth of documents that they don't have structured data to be able to unlock the value from that data. Others are concerned with speed, but we have actually had a couple of people that have brought up, employee churn and employee.
Oh no, I think you should really focus on that because there's a difference. People don't like paperwork. That generation is not going to tolerate it. And so that is really going to change the dynamics of how we do work today. Or how we do work in the future. So I think it's a great product because it is definitely going to have a significant market and just
appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
Take note of that.
Yeah.
Question. This is Duran here. I want to really understand the core value proposition. What's going to be that moat that really differentiates you in the market? Because if I think about on one end of the spectrum, the platforms like a DocuSign or a Dropbox, the stuff that they're attempting to do, if they want to implement a similar technology, I don't think that you would have a problem there. So that's one set of how I'm thinking. The other side is ChatGPT with constructing these type of documents so that they won't have an issue post actually the document being complete. And then the third thing is more on the side of me being involved with corporate governance over the last 17 years. I hear a lot of platforms say, hey, we can parse through, when you said legal, that's the thing I was waiting on. We can parse through this term sheet. But the fact of the matter is, there may be a nuance there. I may have to connect one of the subsidiaries that we have through a particular structure inside of an operating agreement that requires a specific language that your data may not understand. So if I'm coming to you as an organization, I say, hey, I just did 17 different deals with 17 different startups, which require like certain terms in these agreements. How's your product going to be structured where I can get that specificity inside of the document and you don't even have the training data to understand the specificity?
Correct. That's kind of the beauty in the solution, actually. So you asked a few different questions there. I'm gonna so the one that you asked there at the end. This touches on the differentiator that I mentioned about not requiring training data. So the essence of the solution is that it's an unstructured document processor. So there's a lot of solutions that can process license plates and these very standardized documents and whatnot. But where it gets tricky is with little nuance intricacies such as you just described, where it's subsection D of page 34 or whatever it may be. We don't need to template or see a bunch of examples of the documents. We built our own language model in-house. And so our program actually reads the document and understands the subject matter to be able to actually interpret it the same way that a human being would. So if a human being could complete that task, then Doxy can complete that task as well. And the amount of upskilling that you're going to be, or the amount of information that we're going to need to discern from you to configure Doxy is going to be almost assuredly less than what it would take a human employee. Or that's been our results thus far.
Why? That's a good answer. Why is the focus on the enterprise side of things? Why not a consumer product on the SaaS side, where you can go to Y Combinator, if you will, and say, hey, you guys have enough time focusing on getting these startups to a certain level. You don't need to focus on the minutia inside of these particular documents. So we built this SaaS platform, and we're going to provide X amount of hours or X amount of time for free, and then we can upsell, which can lead you towards solidifying that other part of your business model, the enterprise side, because as you mentioned, the sales cycles are much longer. Why not start as a go-to-market on the SaaS side?
In hindsight, we probably should have. But like I said, we're 6 months into some of these enterprise deals for 80 to 100 million pages a year, and just the volume and making a pivot like that right now, I don't believe it's the best move. So I think that the round's probably going to be the best bet. Now, as far as moving forward, it is probably going to make sense to have like a lower tier offering on the consumer side in the future. But we're trying to just make sure that we're the best solution for enterprises right now, because we believe that there's going to be a first mover advantage there. And once we're established, it'll be a lot like the plumbing. People change the handles on the sink, but they don't really ever change the pipes.
I really love this idea. I want to dive a bit deeper with you on it so I can really give you some thoughts, and perhaps you can revisit the business model, because I deal with documents literally every day. I was working on a 500-page document yesterday. So I want to talk to you offline, the short of it.
Great. Okay. We're going to move on, though. Thank you, Austin. And up next is Dickens.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, so this is Dickens Odera. So I'm the founder and CEO at Zero Pay Finance, where we are helping companies onboard their clients onto crypto payments and maximize their revenue. So we are at pre-revenue stage and seeking a pre-seed of 500K USD. So I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and if you want to maybe join us at Zero Pay Finance, I've left my information in the chat. Feel free to reach out. We are also in the process of raising the funds. We are currently in our private sale of the utility token. We are launching in April 16th. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it'd be useful if you could leave some information or a website, or a way for us to understand better what you're pitching.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Up next is Jacob.
All right. Hey, everybody. Good to be here. So for the past 2 months, I've been working on a piece of software that aims to assemble a lot of natural language data from online sources. For example, you can look at Reddit or Twitter or MediaWiki, which is the technology that powers Wikipedia and Wiki Dictionary, and kind of just gather all this natural language data and assemble it and make it available to people who need it to train their language models. For example, Austin was talking about how you would need your own documents to train their language model, and there's a lot of use cases for having this natural language data to train whatever kind of language model you're trying to fine tune for your use case. I mean, the most basic example is that you can use the OpenAI API to train a GPT model for whatever your use case is, but that requires specialized data that you'd have to target for whatever you're trying to train it for. So for my ask here is that my product exists in a prototype form right now, but only on a subset of the total data that I want to make available. So I'm still trying to solve the scaling problems inherent in gathering millions and millions of posts and comments and things like that, and just lots of text data. But if I could find some customers who want to use a subset of the data, that would be really useful for kind of financing me for the next however many months it takes for me to scale upwards. Right now, it's just me. I'm working on this alone. And so I can kind of continue at this pace, but I need to get some interest from people. And so that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Jacob?
Yeah, I actually have a comment for you, Jacob. I might be able to give you some advice in this regard, but I would strongly suggest taking a look at either finding a co-founder to help you work on this, who's willing to put in sweat equity, or looking at incubators instead of trying to find a customer at the stage you are now, because it sounds like you're really, really early, but it also sounds like you might have something. You just need to polish it a bit more before you can actually get it ready to sell to someone. And there are a few people who I know who would be interested in taking a look at something like this. In particular, there's a organization called Hustle Fund. Their tagline is, "We invest in hilariously early startups." I think you would qualify in this case. So
Sure.
please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn and I can give you some pointers.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, well, meet Jacob in the chat if you're interested. Up next is Helen.
Hey, Jacob, I just put my info in the chat too. I'll invite you to our weekly founder meeting because I know what it's like to be alone on your island. Hey, everybody, this is how, yeah, good. That was a good pitch too. My name's Helen Kramer and my SaaS platform builds mobile apps for mobile businesses. And our SaaS platform was launched 2 years ago and we had 141 signups in 6 weeks, but the platform wasn't built to scale. So fast forward, three is the number of years we've been rebuilding the platform. 4 is the number of dev teams that I've gone through. 141 is the number of customers that we had signed up before we first launched. 2 is 2 patents that we have pending. The patents that are pending are our ability to update our core app, which in turns will update all the mobile apps that are built on our software. 50,000 is the number of food trucks, which is our niche, that were in the US in 2019. 3 million is the number of food trucks that are now roaming the US now year to date. And those are only food trucks. So think about how many mobile businesses are actually out there. 2 is a number for the 2 integrations that we've done with Square and Stripe. So if you have a mobile app, as long as you have Square or Stripe, you can have pre-orders. Your customers can pre-order for pickup, delivery, and or schedule a service if you provide a mobile service. 99 cents is the dollar amount that we get per transaction for each mobile app. And 1 is the number of software updates that we have to do to update all of our mobile icons simultaneously, which hopefully will change the dev world and development companies. That's one of our patents that are pending. 1,111 is a number that represents how many people, friends, family, disruptors, developers, and investors that have been helping us along the way. So thank you for everyone there. And the number 1 I'll leave you with is the only number. I just need 1 investor to keep this train a-rocking. And we just relaunched 3 days ago. All of the prototypes have done great and all the mobile apps are processing orders and scheduling business. And that's it for me.
Out of curiosity, how much in revenue would you expect from the 141 customers if they all signed up again?
Oh, we did that number already. It was I would be at 1.4 million right now in 1 year. And
from 141 customers.
Yes, we receive 109, reoccurring revenue, correct.
So about $10,000 per customer annually.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody? Yep. Sorry.
I was just going to say we get money down per mobile app, and then there's monthly reoccurring revenue. Also, some food trucks and some businesses have more than 1 mobile app, or they do catering and they have a food truck. So sometimes 1 customer is worth 1, 2, or 3 subscriptions.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, Helen, hi, this is Duran. So, or when you say mobile app, are you saying native mobile app or web-based mobile app?
No, our software provides you to have an actual mobile app with a mobile icon in the Apple and Google Play Store. And as soon as you subscribe, you can load your logo, information, menu, connect your payment gateway, and then I can actually push your app live with the touch of the button from my software.
Got it. So, yeah. So the value proposition is that I can come to you, utilize your technology, and within a week or so, or however long it takes, I can have an app inside of the App Store.
Yes, as soon as
Okay.
you load your content, we can push it live same day. It's just depends on the delay with Apple and Google Play. Right now, they're running about 2 to 3 business days, but sometimes they run 2 to 3 weeks.
So who owns the actual software for the app itself?
I own the platform, but the business owner pays the hosting fee to have rights to their mobile app.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused because, again, as I said it earlier, I'm actually a software engineer.
Mhm.
And so if I make my own app,
Mhm.
am I making the app utilizing your software and publishing it through your platform, or I come to you with my app already built and I publish it through your platform?
My platform is a white label platform, and you load your content and you build your app, and then we push it live, and then it's your mobile app, and you pay a monthly subscription to us to maintain it and to keep it live in the App Store. But it's your app, you own it.
So I understand you're doing this for the food trucks because they may not have the technology savvy to maintain their operations on the technical side.
Oh, sorry. The big problem in the world is all small businesses are on a platform, whether it's Grubhub, Uber Eats, it's a group app, or it could be a platform for dog walking services, and they take 15 to 30% of commission per transaction. My platform will allow any business that's mobile or service or has a product to be able to keep all their hard and earned dollars.
Oh, I see now. Okay, now I understand. Yeah, it's a bit difficult because when I look at it, you essentially not only, okay, you solve the problem with allowing them to keep most of their revenue, but the other problem is how do you get, it's not just people Grubhub taking from them. Grubhub put themselves in the position to do that because Grubhub has all the customers. So you have market share and you have mind share. Grubhub and these other platforms, Uber Eats, they have mind share. So even if I have a beautiful app, you figured out how to give me a better cash register, and I'm going to get majority of the revenue that comes in. How am I going to get 60,000 people to look at my app?
We don't say you should be off those group apps. You can stay on them, but when you train your customers to order through your own app, then that's now you have a customer base you can remarket to, and you can continue to build your customer and then build your customer base time and time again. But it's up to the business owner to tell them to download their app.
Now that's the best part of your pitch. If you that's the part
You have a direct line of sight. Your customers have to go look for any business on any social media platform. When you put your business in your customer's pocket, now you as a business owner have a direct line of sight to that customer and can message them anytime.
So my last recommendation, I'll just say put that to the first part of your pitch. I'm not sure I'm really sold on that every one of them need a separate app, but that's another conversation you and I can laugh and go back and forth about. But definitely say, hey, we've built the better checkout system. You're going to pay too much on those third-party platforms that you're on. You should stay there as far as your inventory is concerned. But we've allowed you to have a better checkout system where we know how to get your customer from going on the Uber Eats app and when they're ready to purchase to your own platform. And not only that, you can upsell them on other sweepstakes that you have, because that's going to be the value proposition to convince them to utilize 2 platforms for 1 transaction. That's going to have to come to the front of your pitch for sure.
I love that. Thank you very much. I was trying something different with the numbers to get everyone.
Quick question.
May I ask a question of?
Sorry.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Sorry, Dan, I'll be quick. Are you targeting also small businesses like private yoga studios or private massage therapists as well, or specifically food trucks?
No, right now we just relaunched and our niche is food trucks, and the food trucks can share their location, get pre-orders, knock out their competition from having their own app. So obviously you have to be successful in one niche first, but then after that we'll go vertical: mobile businesses, mobile yoga, mobile.
Great, thanks.
Yep. But if you need a platform and you need a solution for that arena, just let me know, Nathan. Or Jason, I'm sorry.
Dan, did you have a quick question?
No, Nathan and I were thinking the same thoughts. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to move on. Up next is Sam.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sam Scheid. I'm a founding partner of Three Bridges Private Capital. I'm here for several reasons tonight. First, I'm here to be a resource for people, whether it be advice or to join your board, or I'm happy to help in any way I can. Second, I'm looking for companies to invest in. We focus on healthcare space usually, but we're open for other opportunities as well. And third, I'm here to meet other investors. We source a handful of deals every year. If anyone would like to see our deal flow, I'd be happy to send them along. We set up an SPV for each one. We have one right now in a biologics company backed by the Mayo Clinic. That has a new CEO, had a lot of success with Wright Medical. So feel free to reach out. I'll put my information on the chat.
Is there a particular area, healthcare or life sciences, that you focus on?
No, we source a lot of our deals through the Mayo Clinic. So accelerator programs. So whatever they have and they're going to back, we usually invest with them.
Okay. Anybody have any quick questions or comments?
Sam, that's awesome. This is Helen. That sounds really cool.
All right. I'll put my info in the chat. Let's connect.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you here. Up next is Jason.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, I'm Jason, the founder and inventor of SkyAmp. This is one of our products here. We make American-made, unpowered, patented wireless signal boosters. Our products cover cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, IoT, Internet of Things, voice over IP, which is the DACT version of wireless. We are in production. We have a factory here in Iowa where we build all of our products. Everything is built in-house. We don't outsource. We're domestically supplied. We have a $25 million pipeline. We just partnered with AT&T to be going nationwide with B2B offerings with them, and soon in their retail outlets as well. We also just signed up a new national partner called ARG. They're a nationwide telecommunications provider and integrator. They've got 4,000 clients. We're going to be working with all of them. We've got 25 other reseller partners. We are in distribution. We are shipping products all the time. And we are looking for somebody to join into our seed round, which is currently open for $4 million. We've previously raised just under $3 million. And we're going to use that money to optimize our manufacturing, enact our go-to-market strategy so we can hit even more people, and take this thing to the world, because there's no infrastructure required, no external antennas. We've got a product that's truly unique, born out of necessity, that you will not find anything else on the world that's like what we've got. And I'm legally allowed to say that. And again, it is patented, trademarked. We are ready to rock. And that is almost my 2 minutes. Thank you so much. And I'll be putting my information in the chat.
Thanks, Jason. Does anybody have any questions or comments? What Jason has is really cool. You guys should check it out. If you,
It is. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just want to say, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Jason last week, and his tech is just totally revolutionary. And I highly recommend for everyone to have a conversation with Jason. Besides the awesome tech, he's a really cool guy.
Thank you.
And
I have a
the way you were
question.
able to highlight that in yellow in the chat. That's so interesting. I didn't know that was possible. Go ahead. Yes.
I have a quick question. Would that work in the Philippines? They have really spotty internet everywhere. Would it help out here?
Yeah, I should have mentioned all of our cellular solutions are carrier agnostic, and all countries use the same bands, even though it's different companies. So yes, it will work in any country, and we've had quite a bit of international interest already.
Okay, great. I'll be in contact.
Sounds
Anybody
great.
else real quick? Okay, thanks, Jason. It's good to have you back. Up next is Armando.
Hi, my name is Armando Sada. I'm the CEO of DroneTech. I'm going to talk about the future of air transport. Our dream is to build an urban air transport, something that takes off like a helicopter and flies like a plane, based on our existing drone. Drones are a $30 billion market. Ukraine has been called the war of drones, and they're buying everything they can. I've seen it with my own eyes. Drone operations are expensive, rigid, and complicated. Now with our fixed-wing vertical takeoff and landing drone that we have already developed, they're reliable, flexible, and practical. We have 2 patents, and we can take off, deliver, and land into a moving platform, being the only aircraft in the world that can take off and land in 3 different modes. In the last 12 months, we have done 10 sales for $180,000 in drone as a service. We have 7 letters of intent. We have sent an MOU for around $1.7 million with a 50% margin. And last month we were in Ukraine, and we got it there, 3 demos with 3 requests for demos. Right now we're doing drone as a service for leak detection and plan to make drone sales this year. Some of the companies we're talking about are DevC, United 24, and Special Operations of National Guards, all of them in Ukraine. Both drone as a service and products are more than a $20 billion market. For drone as a service, we can fly twice the area at the same time at a better price. Plus, you can do different applications versus just one. Last year, we quoted between drone as a service and product around $100 million. And our team has built a far better product at a fraction of the cost of the 75 million that it took our competition. We're asking for 1.5 million for a pre-seed round. This will give you a 12-month runway. We will build 2 drones, 1 for service and 1 to go back to Ukraine, and we won't come back until we sell it. This will give us at least 1 million in the first year and around 10 in third. We will love some advice, feedback, and connections. Thank you.
Hey, Armando.
I'd like to learn more about this one for a variety of reasons, but we can talk offline. Kurt, did you have something?
Yeah, Armando, where are you based?
The company is based in San Antonio, but we actually do all our development in Mexico.
I just met a woman that came to one of our founder events, the concert we just had Friday night, and she does grants for drones. So I can get you connected.
Thank you very much.
Was there somebody else that had a question? I'm sorry, was that Blake?
Yeah, I also have something else here. Where did you say the team was located? Just to double check.
Mexico.
Interesting. Because I think it might still count. You might not be aware of this, Armando, but there is now a NATO accelerator, and NATO has money on the table for exactly what you're building. I don't have a close relationship there yet, but I can give you a pointer to the people involved. And I think this would be a pretty easy pitch, to be honest.
That's a good idea.
Please connect with me on LinkedIn.
And Blake, if you find out information on that group, I'd be curious to learn about it also. Thank you. Does anybody else have any final questions there? We're going to move on then. Okay, up next is Rich. You're muted still, Rich.
There you go. All right, thanks. Thanks, Mark. First time attending, just heard about the event recently. Calling in live from Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Atlanta Braves, World Championship Braves, and I'm Sagittarius. They get a response. Anyway, so we created, I've been a podcaster for almost 10 years now. I was in radio in California, on-air music radio DJ, but podcasting is so much more fun. We've interviewed billion-dollar brands to startups, just a fascinating medium. And we've generated over 1 million downloads on our business network platform. But we launched the first ever Podcasters Directory, which is a matchmaking. We used to say Match.com or Tinder for podcasting, but we've kind of got away from that a little bit. But the gist is two-sided marketplace for podcasters, and then primarily speakers and authors or startups, people that want to get on a podcast. We have members now in 42 states and 17 countries around the world. So it's really going to dwarf everything we've done to this point. But our challenge, and I guess our ask would be, is finding sources. I mean, we have an affiliation actually with the National Speakers Association, 40,000 members, but we're looking for affiliations with authors and even podcasters, so we can onboard or connect and let them join the platform. We have a freemium offering, and then obviously you go from a rising star or premium to a rock star paid plan, and that's kind of the gist of it. Our other final ask or offering is we have a social enterprise called Podcasting for Good, which we've taken on the Podcast World Tour. We're gonna and the challenge is kind of mixing those messages and which do we lead with. It's really a communication challenge when we incorporate the enterprise, which we're very passionate about. It helps kids that are born completely deaf restore their hearing to 100%. So it's an awareness campaign for that nonprofit, but it's just, people are busy and the site, gets overloaded, and people, I think, want to know what's in it for them first. So that's part of our challenge is those moving parts, I guess. Yeah.
It sounds great for startups that want to get exposure, and we do have a few people here that have written books as well. So that sounds extremely interesting.
Rich,
go ahead.
Because we do so many founder events, every freaking founder wants to write a book or speak on stages or have a mastermind group. So we've had to build really deep relationships with a lot of the publishing groups. So there are some guys that have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on book publishing and have tons of authors. I can get you connected. So that could help with some of that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd love to connect with you. I'll put my information in the chat. And because we went to Miami Book Fair and just was overwhelmed with the response, because it's really, we've thought about just, only focusing on podcasters and authors, because as an author, you spent a lot of time and effort to get your book to the marketplace. Now, how do you get it? As a podcaster myself, if I get a chance to interview an author, it kind of writes itself, right? The table of contents. And but we want to open it up to speakers and subject matter experts as well. But
so Rich,
go ahead, Duran.
No, whoever that was, they can go in front of me. I'll take the last one.
Oh, Rich, I was just going to tell you, this is Helen. I got access to like a huge community. So I'll put my calendar in the chat and I'll help you out.
That'd be awesome. Really appreciate that. Wow.
Yeah. So Rich, I also come from the radio background. I worked in Radio 1 when I was 17 years old for Kathy Hughes back in Detroit. So I'm very familiar with that. I have my own little DJ show. So it's always great to meet people that had that background as well. So are you interested in actually teaching podcasting? Is that a part of your strategy?
We have a podcast studio here in Atlanta, and we do that, courses. We do a podcaster masterclass. Are you talking about as being a podcaster or as a guest?
As being a podcaster. The reason I asked you is when I thought about it, I'm thinking about the entire ecosystem. There are a lot of podcast platforms. Spotify owns one of them. They're so bullish on taking the podcast market, fighting against Apple. Then on the other side, you have podcast networks where people don't have distribution, so they partner with a network so the network can push their podcast through their network. But what I haven't seen is teaching, specifically talking about founders, because I know so many founders that want a podcast, teaching founders how to actually produce a podcast. That may be a vertical that you can start out with as far as your go-to-market, and then you can circle around and focus on distribution and placement. But actually saying, hey, we are the place, we're a studio that teach you guys how to launch your podcast from beginning to the end. Especially for startup founders. You can connect with these incubators, these accelerators like Y Combinator. Kurt mentioned, Kurt is in the ecosystem, so he can connect you. I know so many founders say, Duran, podcast is the thing. We need to be able to write articles and actually speak so people can invest in our company. So that may be something that you can actually start out with, even if that's not going to be the main focus in the years to come.
And Durant's right. We've been tracking all the money that's been going into podcasts from the venture side of things. You guys would be pretty surprised. So it's kind of the oldest type of social media, but the least mature. So you've got 600 blogs, you've got 30 million YouTube channels, and you have 2 to 3 million podcasts. I mean, that number.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the wild, wild west right now in podcasting, and really appreciate your insight, Durant, as well, because we do a masterclass. We haven't really taken it online, but I'll just finish with this and share with the audience as well that for founders, startups, investors, anybody that has a business, entrepreneurship, and so forth, although I would never discourage anybody from launching a podcast, it is a tremendous amount of work, to be very honest up front. I mean, we create a 30-minute podcast. We can be upwards of 5 hours all in when you include everything from A to Z, right? So, but it's definitely worth it. It positions yourself as a subject matter expert, much like the challenge of writing a book. Once it's done, it's golden, right? So the point is, one of our catchphrases is we say the only thing better than podcasting is podguesting. Podguesting is really kind of where it's at, dude, because you can go on for 30 minutes and you're done, and you can tap into that entire audience that you would never be able to access. And we actually own the domain name podguesting.com. So that's really because and as a podcaster, they're starving for new guests, and these are some amazing experts. Mark and Kurt, you guys have on the platform here, so I'll let things move on, but I'll put all the information in my chat as well as a link to connect.
That was really interesting, and I hope many of us take advantage of what Rich has developed. Up next is Hansel.
Mark, could I add something real quick for Rich?
Quick.
Yeah, okay. that I finally got on because I've been kind of blocked all this time. But Rich, I just wanted to add that my multimedia platform, Influence Dakota, we have the digital printing as well as the podcasting component. We have a global reach. We also a publishing and marketing concern based out of San Antonio, Texas. The publisher is a former advertising sales manager with Black Enterprise, other publications. And my background is in magazine as well as broadcast. So I'll definitely put my information in the chat. And our focus on the global aspect is to incorporate those stories and initiatives that have that community appeal, that address those needs in underserved communities. So I look forward to working with you and being an extensive resource for whomever is looking to get their podcasters that ink that's always helpful to move their product line. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, thank you,
That'd be amazing.
Meta. Thank you,
Let's
everybody.
connect. Thanks again.
And thank you, Rich. We're going to move on. Next up is Hansel.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are at. Hey, my name is Hansel Delgadillo. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So I am the CEO and founder of Vincio. So my background, I retired from the military in 2017 in special operations. Me and 3 other operators got together and we saw there was something missing in these dating social networking apps. So we got together about 2 years ago and we created Vincio. So Vincio is not a clone of a dating or social networking app. Like 99% of the apps are out there. This is a built from scratch app. We took all the positive things from Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, Bumble, everything you could possibly imagine, and sat together and created focus groups, and we created Vincio. So Vincio has a state-of-the-art real-time map that users can connect with each other. We primarily created this app to connect with folks from different parts of the country. So the app, technically, you could be in Texas and connect with somebody in Brazil and someone in Colombia using real-time maps, create groups. You're new to Colombia, you're new to Peru, you're new to Texas, you're new to Florida. So app is, like I said, it had a whole bunch of different aspects of it that I don't want to get into because it's going to take me like an hour. But basically, it's been self-funded. We pumped into about 150K out of our own money, what you guys call bootstrapping. The app has been live in the App Store for 2 months doing beta testing. We have 300 folks testing it. We've been improving it, working out all the glitches, all the bugs. Right now, we have ambassadors in UT, Texas State, and Texas A&M testing the app, and we're adding and subtracting things, what's going to make the app an amazing app. So it's currently live, and currently we're looking for at least 200K in investment, mostly for the marketing and PR, and also for co-founder. The app is live. Check it out. Vincio.com is in the App Store and iOS and Android. Let me know what you think. If you guys get any questions, any help, any hints, anything that help us move it along, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Yes, I've got a question. Sorry, go ahead.
How many users do you have, and what's your user acquisition strategy?
So right now we're in the beta testing. We haven't even started marketing yet. So the only users I have right now is about 350 users, and they're all testers. So starting this month is when we're going to actually start marketing the app in these colleges and universities. So initially, phase 1 for us is going to be colleges, university, California, Texas, and Miami, and make sure it's out in the wild for at least 2 or 3 months, so we can finish working on any other bugs, any other issues. Once that happens, then we're going to go nationwide. It's going to be available in the US and Canada.
So I get the channels you're going after are colleges, but what is the actual like strategy, like where the tire meets the road? Like what are you saying to these people, or what are you have any sort of incentive for them, or what is that process?
So right now we have a marketing company. So what makes us different? So this is so much different than any other app. If you have 5 minutes, get on the app, and immediately you'll see the difference as to why we are going to be contending with Tinder and Bumble and all these different apps.
Oh, well, I don't have 5 minutes. I'm a college kid. I'm walking to class, so you got to tell me.
Yeah, so it's an amazing app. But like I said, you're new to town, you're new to the neighborhood, you want to find a date, you're in a bar, you want to check into the location, you see another person that's in the bar on the app in real time. So this is not waiting anymore for a week or two for somebody to hit you up. If you're in Texas Bar and Grill, you check into the location, you can talk to that person. You're in the college campus, you checked into Texas A&M today, you see the 500 users are checked in, you can scroll down and talk to people in real time. Or you just sit in your house and in your real-time map, you're going to see bubbles walking across your map, and you can click on individual people and send messages. Obviously, security being the biggest thing, it's not going to be the exact location. We create like a 300-meter bubble for the person. So when you click on the person, that's not their exact location. So we focused a lot on security, obviously, because we're focusing on the college market, and we want to make sure that people feel safe using the app.
Yeah.
Hey, Hansel, just a quick thing. Send me an email and I'll get back to you. That exact program was developed about 8 years ago, and I'll send you the deal and the software and stuff.
Cool.
Is
Awesome.
the goal
Yeah,
friendship? Sorry, is the goal of the app to make friendship, or is it for love, a lasting life partner?
So that's the beauty of it. So Vincio was initially created for friends, for creating, you're new to a college area, you're in Columbia, for example, we deployed a lot. So we always showed up at a location and we didn't know anybody. I didn't want to get on Tinder. So with this app, you're able to first, have friendships to locations. You're at a bar, you're at a restaurant, and it also has the regular swiping functions for dating. So not only can you use it for dating, but you can also, you want to find someone to go on a dog walk with your girlfriends or guys, or you want to go running, or you're in college and you're bored and you want to meet other people in school, or you're at a bar and you're with your girlfriend and you want to see who's at this bar that you want to talk to. You click on the bar and you see the people. So it's not just for dating. You can use it for so many different parameters. And we have also the group functions. So for example, you can create a group for UT basketball, right? And all the members in UT basketball can log in with an invitation. And now you have a group for UT basketball, or the LDS church for that matter. You have LDS church in Columbia, and you can create a group for all the members in that church, and you guys can communicate with each other, kind of like Facebook groups or Instagram or WhatsApp groups, for example. So I took a lot of different things from very different platforms, and I created an all-inclusive app that won't require you to go to any other app, because we'll have a one-stop shop.
Yeah. So really quick, Hansel, this is Duran. So the thing about it, I'm gonna give you some suggestions, but I would like to dedicate about 30 minutes of my time to help you out with this. So to think about what people speak against Tinder, what made Tinder work is they focused on clustering their community and density. So when you build like these type of applications, you don't want to spread yourself too wide, because you're not going to be able to give that eureka moment when you start out in the app, because there's not a lot of users there. So what Tinder focused on was, let's go to the colleges and specifically the frats, and we're going to ensure we're going to throw some parties ourselves and ensure that we can connect people together that may want to date one another. And they were giving out t-shirts. So what they were able to do is say, okay, even if you go on our app and you can't find a date, Tinder on the offline world for throwing these cool parties. So they were able to cluster a part of the community. And once they started scaling out, getting enough people in the app, they were able to utilize the individuals that they satisfy in the offline world to strengthen the online presence of their particular application. So what I always caution founders of don't think that the people that do their job, it's not as hard as it may seem because they made it look easy. It's a lot of other reasons why Tinder was able to succeed in Match.com on the technical side. And I get what you're doing, but I would say focus on the particular vertical. If you're going to, this is my first suggestion, and I have one more and then I'm going to close. If you're going to say that it's for dating, you have to figure out how to extrapolate a hook from that to convince people to come to the app. Because then when you go into, we like a Facebook group, then it's like, okay, well, I have Discord for that, or I have Telegram for that. The other thing I would suggest is utilizing those same apps that you're speaking against to actually scale your platform out. So let's say, for instance, that you're going to be the individual that say, well, we don't guarantee that you're going to get married. We don't guarantee that you're going to have the best date ever. What we can guarantee is that you're going to connect with someone based on skill set. So Duran, you are a software engineer, you're a DJ. I'm going to connect you with a young lady that's a DJ in close proximity to you. And you can tell that story in 15-second snippets on TikTok. And now when they see you on TikTok, they're like, all right, I've been listening to this guy. This sounds pretty cool. How do I try this thing out? And then you can upsell them to your actual app. So those very platforms that you're going against are going to be your distribution model. I don't think you need to raise $200,000 at the moment, especially with these consumer social apps. It's a lot of things that you can do from a growth hacking perspective that can get you to a particular position to where then it warrants capital for you to scale it out.
Cool. Thank you.
You guys should talk, but we're going to move on. So next up is Thomas.
Yeah, hello. So I'm Thomas Hong, serial entrepreneur. I was the CEO founder of 6 different companies. And as founder and CEO of Border CEOs, I advise several hundred Silicon Valley CEOs of early stage companies. I've also been judged at 2 investor pitch platforms and currently I'm active with US Angel. Having been involved with numerous startups, I have some observations I'd like to share. First is the bad news. Statistically, 90% of startups fail. The good news is a lot of entrepreneurs are very smart people, but they just don't know how to build their startups the right way. And they fail because of improper implementation. The majority of entrepreneurs think that their product is the most important factor for success. It is not. Many first-time entrepreneurs do not know the 5 key factors for startup success, and they also do not know the priority of these factors. So I'd like to share with you these 5 factors that influence success of a startup. Number 1, the most important is the founding team. The quality of the founding team is more important than the product. The second most important factor is the equity plan, how the equity is divided among the founders, the current employees, and future employees. Third is the business, is the product, which many entrepreneurs think is the most important. It is not. It is number 3 out of 5. And the fourth factor is the business model. And 5th is funding. Now, the good news is that we've created a platform called Startup Mentors, where we provide detailed advice and instruction on how to build a successful startup by doing things the right way. And you look for Thomas Hong in chat, you will find a link to the platform and how to join and the discount code. And when you join, you will have access to all these information that were submitted by 20 mentors who are all experienced business people. And so we will explain to you and give you detailed instructions how to form a strong team, how to do equity distribution, how to do financial projections, how to do business models, and how and when to raise funding. So please look for my name, Thomas Hong, in chat for the those specific information. And also feel free to contact me. My email is next to my picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. And I just want to say that Thomas brings up a really important point, which is dear to my heart, which is the right teams don't get stuck. The right teams attract the money they need. It is team. I'm 100% convinced, just like Thomas is, that the team is the most critical component. If you're stuck, if you're having trouble raising money, if you're having trouble selling your products, it makes sense to add somebody to your team or more people than one to your team or an advisory board. I do that for the startups that I invest money into. I'm doing it for some startups right now. Thomas may have a fantastic platform as well. You know, if you're feeling like you need some help, look into the possibility of adding somebody to your team. I won't add more to that, but thank you, Thomas, for sharing that.
Okay. I just like to share a little bit more information. So the reason I'm able to tell you things is because a lot of these points that I'm telling you is based on hands-on experience. I'm probably one of the few people that participate in this platform that is several years older than Mark. And so my claim to fame is that I've actually been there, done that. So matter of fact, you know, many years ago when I worked for a startup company, there was a young kid named Steve Jobs, and he told me that he thought that I was too old to work at Apple. So that gives you a reference that I'm older than Steve Jobs.
Well, you look young, at least on our video feed. So good. And thank you, Thomas. We're going to have to move on, though, because
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next is Jordan.
Hi, everyone. How y'all doing? My name is Jordan. I'm the CEO and founder of Levels, which is a social venture mobile app for connecting in person as opposed to online. So we live in this social media age, which has changed the way that people interact with each other. And it's also had a profound impact on younger generations, especially Generation Z, who's reporting the highest reports of loneliness out of any generation alive. Yet surprisingly, 83% of them actually prefer in-person communication above all other forms. And so what we want to do is we want to create an app that connects people in person. And what makes us different from other apps out there like meetup.com or the other social apps that we've heard about is we actually assign different coffee shops and bars a specific topic. So that way, any day of the week, at any time, you can just go on the social adventure, hopping from place to place in your area and getting to connect with people instantly who love to talk about the same things you do instead of having to plan an event months away. And these topics are basically anything that you can think of, like level 1, and they're in 3 different levels of depth. So there's level 1, which is casual fun stuff like funny stories or music. And there's level 2, which is deeper things like religion or politics. And then there's level 3, where you get to go into your personal experiences, like with like love, suffering and loss, body image, and so on, if you want to go that deep. The way that the app works is that you actually create a profile with an avatar, so that way you're anonymous and not judged on your physical appearance before meeting people. Then you'll select a location, say maybe like the video games location. Then you'll travel to that location, then select a subtopic, say maybe action video games. And then anyone currently at the location with you will be able to see that that's what you want to talk about, and you can connect with them.
Have you built the app yet?
What was that?
Have you built the app yet?
So I'm raising $180,000 to have it developed by TechRevel, which is the partner app company I'm working with. And then we want to get it to market as soon as we can.
Got it. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. So this is Duran. One, when you go with building your platform, just ensure that when you talk to the offshore team or whatever, make sure that you're not only going to have the technology delivered to you, but you're going to be able to own the code as well. Because typically what would happen with a lot of founders, I've seen them run into this problem. They'll pay 40 grand to get an incredible app built. They'll send the app to the founders, it's deployed. So they're super excited, but then they say, hey, where's our code? Well, that wasn't a part of the deal. You have to buy that intellectual property from us. So then it's north of $500,000 to $1 million. So just ensure when you're negotiating, you're very clear on, hey, we're going to own the code and we're going to manage the actual app itself. So as you guys build off the app, you need to actually have the code. We own it. Let's put it in writing. So that's one. 2, I would say that you're more of an adventure company than you are an event company, because you started off by talking about events, meeting together, because it's really hard to keep us consistent. If you say Starbucks, we're going to meet today and the topic is having fun at the lake. Yeah, we may start out talking about that, but then we're going to find interesting things about us individually and change the conversation very fast. So if you can just really position yourself as an adventure company, where it's not only based on conversation, you can do something specifically cool at that Starbucks to keep us focused on that particular dialogue when we're meeting together, opposed to saying an event company, because you're automatically going to have people like me think, oh, so this is like Eventbrite or a Meetup, and what's the difference? This is like, or is this like Airbnb experiences? I would say you're more of an adventure company. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously it can work. We're always looking for adventures as human beings, but send me a message on LinkedIn. I'll be interested in talking to you more about it.
Those are actually great points, especially the owning your code. I mean, that's a good advice for everybody here. I've actually seen that happen as well. We're going to have to
I would like to add something else, actually. That sounds like way too much money to build an app. I'm saying this because my background is in user experience, and I've been doing this for quite a bit. The first version of the app, there will be an enormous amount of things that you need to change. So it doesn't have to be the perfect app. I would recommend using something like Ionic Framework, that you build it and it runs on both mobile, both Android and iOS. What you learn from your users at that point, you can perfect. But if you go to an agency, they're going to use some outsourced team anyway. So I would seriously, you can hit me up. I can give you some advice on that. That sounds like a waste of about $140,000, like seriously. Anyway, that's my take on it.
You should also consider partnering with us mega hackathon so that you could recruit talented interns from the hackathon who win, and you could get them to help you build that as well for cheaper.
Okay, and I'm gonna pipe in on Jason because no one's talked about women in tech yet, and Callie Taub, and so I'm gonna also say you need to go to the Girls Who Code event. Wherever there is an event that little girls are fixing problems, you won't have to spend $1 on your own code. Okay, that's it.
Those are all good ideas. I wish we had more time to spend, but I want to try and get a couple more people in before. And I just want everybody to know, those of you who are in the queue, I have an idea for you, because you're going to miss this event. There's too many that are still in the queue. My suggestion is if you arrive 5 to 10 minutes early next week, before I open up all the, before we open up the room to everybody, we will then select you folks that are, the ones that aren't going to have an opportunity to pitch, and we'll let you in early so you can raise your hand first and get in the queue. You'll be in the room a few minutes ahead of time. So for those of you who, I'm gonna have to write down who we're not gonna have time for in a moment, but we still have, I think we're gonna end with Rajiv, but as soon as Rajiv is done, and I apologize to everybody else that I see in the queue, there's 13 of you. I'll start writing your names down, but if you'll come back next week, I promise, we'll pick you out of the crowd as long as you're there 5 or 10 minutes before. Once we open the doors, we have no control, and then it basically whoever raises their hand at that point, they raise their hand, and we just go with that cue. But so I apologize to many of you. Some of you are regulars, and I feel bad that we don't have time for you this evening. So Rajiv's gonna be our last to pitch.
Okay, thank you for this, Mark. I'm currently off camera because I'm recovering from surgery. But since I'm like the last speaker and it's been a really long night, I thought I'd start with a joke. Hopefully this joke doesn't offend, but hey, it is what it is. What did the optimist say as he jumped off the top of the 100th floor building?
What?
So far, so good. That's what he said. Okay, anyway, so as far as what do I do and why I'm here, so there are like two things. I have two claim to fames. The current claim to fame is that I can erase anything from the internet, whether that's bad press, scandal, bad reviews, tweets, videos on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, mugshots, anything. Anything can be deleted from the internet, and that's what we do. And we have a success guarantee. So that's the first claim to fame. The second claim to fame is I'm the only marketer to get into the Guinness Book of Records for creating the world's largest jigsaw puzzle for Unilever. And this was for the Lipton tea brand launch. So when it comes to launching a product and getting it right, if anyone needs any help there, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. In fact, I'm a founder as well. We have a tool, a software called Lily Launch Tools, which helps you in visualizing your strategy and then having your team know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing, and then are prompted to do what needs to get done at the right time without you having to chase them and hound them to do that thing. So when it comes to the rollout of your product launch, it is extremely streamlined and you're able to launch months earlier than you previously would. And this basically translates to reducing your cost of goods sold, as well as potentially adding hundreds, if not millions of dollars to your top line. So that is in a nutshell as to some of the things that we do. I'll kind of like leave it here because it's been a really long night and I'm sure that many people, including Mark, want to get a head start on the evening, maybe with some supper or dinner. So thank you again for the opportunity, Mark, and thank you all for your attention.
Thank you all. I want to especially thank everybody who actually asked questions tonight and got directly involved. I like the event best when there's interaction from the audience with our founders. I know it slows up the process and we don't get as many founder pitches in, but I think we get a chance to know the founders a little bit better. And it's just the model that I'd like to go with again for next week. And for those of you, the 11 that had your hand raised that didn't make it in the queue for today, we wrote your names down. Please come 5-10 minutes early next week. I just want to make one final thought, sort of inspired earlier. Team is so critical. And just so you know, I run ads on LinkedIn and you guys could do the same thing. to basically find talent for startups all the time. If there's really a challenge where you need a warm introduction and you're tired of pitching total strangers, by advertising and finding talent that will join your team who know the right people, it can fast track a whole bunch of things. Currently, I'm running advertisements for 2 of the startups that are part of our community. And we have, in both cases, almost 500 applicants for each of those companies. I only need 1 person out of 500 to be the person who knows the right people to basically make this model work. And we're able to attract 500 applicants usually in 1 week. When we buy ads, it's a paid ad model on LinkedIn. It isn't a free model. LinkedIn they do offer free ads, but you get what you pay for on LinkedIn is what I'll say. But that said, you might want to consider that as a possibility. And if you're not sure that your network will work and you're not sure how to advertise, I am available. I have 2 fantastic teammates that are part of my company. That's what they do and focus is on all running these ads and finding applicants and finding people who want to join startup teams. And you can reach out to me at mark@venturestarters.com and I can share more about how that might work. It's just an idea for all of you. Other than that, we've got an event a week from today, which is going to be the exact same format. And then 2 weeks from today, we're going to focus more on life sciences. And we will get back to breakout rooms at some point when I'm more adventurous and ready for a larger crowd, because I have a feeling as soon as we do that again, we're going to grow and be big again, but it comes with complications with Zoom. Thank you all for being part of the journey, the Venture Starters journey. I think we're getting great value out of this networking experience. If I could just ask everybody for just a few minutes just to wave, because it helps me in a marketing sense if I can get everybody sort of online waving. If you can turn your cameras on, all of you, and just wave for a brief second, we'll actually turn this into part of a commercial that'll help out the Venture Starters community. Adam Grill, you're the only one that on my box isn't lit up yet with a video if you're listening. But in any event, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for staying to the very end. You guys all rock. And this was another great event. We had some fantastic people that pitched tonight. I have to say, really, really great tonight. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Go to venturestarters.com and sign up. Again, sorry I wasn't able to get everybody in the queue for this week. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Mark. Awesome,
Thank
Mark.
you all. Thank you.